Right. Greetings. Welcome to Dorsey's Resource. We're now going live. This is going to be a short, brief update. It's the title on this video. I plan on discussing, just letting you guys know I'm still here. Once again, appreciate you all who continue to rock with me, that continue to follow the channel, that continue to support Dorsey's Resource. Those of you who also stayed in touch with me privately as well, and that's given encouragement too behind the scenes. I greatly appreciate you as well, by the way. But I just wanted to discuss some things. I did reach out to YouTube. I finally um, got in touch with some of their tech support, by the way. So they are looking into the matter. I'm not sure how long things are going to take. It appears as though they're dragging their feet. As far as this channel, I've already decided to move on basically with my other channels when I gave you guys the previous update and the previous video about me returning and also heading to other platforms as well. It just takes me time to kind of do things because I have to kind of get the momentum kind of built up as I've gotten older and my schedule the way that it is. It's almost like many people say you're in a trap, like many people call work the rat race, and I've kind of feel that way when it comes to this wealth transfer taking a very long time, the GCR to occur. And I wanted to address some things about that before I forget. I did want to touch on. I'm hearing stuff being put out there again. I've been meaning to discuss this for a while. I'll probably have to do a separate video where I can go more in depth and explain more details because it seems a lot of people don't understand still where I'm coming from. When I mention things, they'll say, "Oh, this sounds like you're money hungry, you're greedy, or the love of money is the root of all evil." But specifically, and they say money is the root of all evil. To get specifically, it's the lust and love of money, or remember money or currency, I should call it, because we're using technically fiat in this U.S. system. If you're over here in the States, even overseas, it's paper currency. And I know things are moving over to digital. I'll maybe get to that if I have enough time. But when people say money is the root of all evil, you got to understand money is a means of exchange, by the way, that's been designated that instead of having to barter, which people can still do in other ways, or swap items, it's a medium of exchange, and it's and that medium of exchange is a tool, just like you use a tool to fix things, work on things. You have different tools for different, all sorts of things. By the way, just to keep it simple, it's meant to be a form of tool. But what's happened is that the evil cabal that you all have heard me speak about, aka the ruling class elite, the Illuminati, the evil cabal, the global criminal syndicate, the deep state, the wicked ones. They have many different names. They have underlings, minions, and gatekeepers beneath them as well. And I speak of specifically, and I've even mentioned some of the names and even did a video a long, long time ago where I actually went over some of this. I probably may need to do a redo, but like I said, I'm probably going to put stuff like that over on Rumble because unfortunately, YouTube is very biased, and I can do a video to point out all the hypocrisy that YouTube allows people to talk about things, and YouTube plays, is selective, just like, for example, when it comes to politics, how the Democrats uh, have done very egregious things. They go after, certain individuals. Name is not worth saying out there, but many of you all know one in particular, numerous people. But the same rules don't apply to them. It's rules for thee, but not for me. This is what a friend of mine would tell me quite a bit. I've learned to pick this up. He would say, rules for thee, but not for me. And this is really with the Democrats, for example, because I heard, you guys know, with Senator Rand Paul, And I'm not a Republican, by the way. Just when I discuss politics, always know I'm not a registered voter. I have not been a registered voter since 2004, which means I'm consistent in my ideology, my context. I've been consistent in what I know. It's not what I believe, what I know to be a fact. I'm very well studied. I'm a researcher. I study things, forensic researcher at that, very in depth at a microscopic, subatomic level, etc. And I want to present some things down the road to you guys. I already gave an update. I had some things on standby, some wonderful high-powered information. I want to go. I've been meaning to touch on for a very long time, breaking down religion. By the way, sneak preview, just to touch on. And I have a tendency, because many of these different subjects, I'm going to try to do a better job to stay on track. I know I've been told by people I have had a tendency to repeat myself, but when I repeat myself, I'm driving things home, or I have a tendency to jump or shift from subject to subject. A friend of mine, he loves it. Different strokes for different. Some people don't like it. He calls it you shifting gears. We can touch on a wide array of subjects because I have friends, people I associate with that are very intellectual, or they won't discuss these types of things around their regular family members. It's not to say that we're better than other people or nothing like. We're not trying to put ourselves on a pedestal, but just we'll have conversations that are not, in the norm, as some people in the general public might see them as weird. But best believe we can switch things up. But we can talk about very high-powered information, and I consult with, when I have questions, I have a team of friends. I call basically a team unofficially, not really like I don't own them or anything, or they're not getting paid, but close friends I've known for a number of years, at least 3 of them. I won't say their names to protect their identities because I do know how people, if they found out, people would be, trying to do things, or the deep state would be trying to send operatives out there. I told one friend of mine, he's kind of like my Q behind the scenes, how James Bond has Q, and I said I've got to protect you as well, and I told him that one time because I said when I came under attack some years ago, I won't go into the details about it for certain things very heavily. One friend of mine that's part of my team, a historian, said he warned me, and I kind of laugh about it. I won't allude to, but they're all very well studied. One of them, a couple of them have given me books. By the way, actually physical books. One of my friends is you could say is definitely a bookworm more than myself. I even though I have a lot of books, I never like to read at one time, but I see the importance of it as when I started learning about sovereignty, redemption, education. You have to. That's like learning to be the equivalent of a lawyer studying for the bar exam. You have to take it. I'm taking that more serious, getting into my studies. But as you get older, it can get tougher. Even though I don't have any children, things start to hit you as you start to age. And I was warned about this many years ago that arthritis and things can set in and stuff. And you have to have the mental fortitude, the determination, sometimes the motivation, but I've harped on the determination, the tenacity, and confidence in yourself to know that, I'm going to see this thing through. And it's one of the reasons why I moved from Florida years ago. I'm not some people think, what's that term people use when people that are into lavish things or money, they say, oh, you're materialistic. And I want to say, I like nothing wrong. A lot of people like having nice things, but I'm not materialistic. I know what it's like to lose practically everything. I was the last person to make it out the house in an actual house fire years ago. So people get on here and talk about, I listen to some of these videos out here too about people put out about the wealth transfer information. And these elites, when I went to this private seminar, I wanted to touch on with have this arrogance where they act like everybody that if this happened already, that gets access to this wealth or this money is going to sabotage it or mess it up. So it's like they've harped on this for years. It's like, but it's in a way, it's like I'm trying to find the right words to articulate it, but it's like putting other people down, like we're beneath them. They act like we're not good enough. This is how they literally talk. Some of the so-called good cabal, one of my private sources refers to them as. He says, and they say, well, because this happened with other people, but those other people are not us. You have to let people experience whatever they experience. We all have different personalities. We're all born with different characteristics. We all have different disciplines. So what one does, but the advice I would give, what you can do on a smaller scale, when one gets money, can be enhanced based on one's personality on a larger scale. So I think if you're really disciplined enough, and certain things I've had successes with, I haven't gone in depth. If I create a Patreon down the road, which has been suggested, I should have had a long time ago. I do apologize for that. Or I was looking into other subscription services as well. It's very competitive nowadays too in the social media space. And maybe I might talk about that on my other channel that I'm considering developing. I gave you guys a sneak preview that would probably be called Alan's Life. That's my middle name, by the way. That would be a vlog, more of a vlog where I would go more personal. Maybe I would save some of those things for the membership, where I would reveal some more personal information, which I've been very disciplined. When you share certain things with people, and it's even monetarily, I also test people out as well. Some people don't understand this. So some people think they're gaming you. That isn't the case. There's a thing called game recognizes game, and I'm also constantly testing to see, overall who's the most loyal, and this even includes family members, how close you are, because I'm not going to reward a person the type of personality that I have. I'm not going to go all out unless you have to mean a lot to me. I have to have because the way the school of thought that I come from, different people have their different pet peeves or different different ideologies and things. But me, I'm the type of individual where I feel like, if you've heard the saying, do unto others as you have them do unto you. It's a basic quote. Newton's third law of physics: to every action is an equal and opposite reaction. But at the same time, I've put in a lot behind the scenes, a lot of work to empower people. And I was very disappointed in certain individuals when I didn't see the same reciprocation in return. It's called even exchange. So I started learning that a lot of people won't go in as hard as you go in for them. You know what I mean? Speaking a little street talk, street slang, metaphorically, you go hard in the paint for them, but they won't go hard in the paint for you. By the way, we live in a society nowadays where technology has pampered a lot of people, has made people, lazy, and or people that are skilled in certain areas. It's created like this other unevenness in terms of how skilled a person is doing certain things or whatever. People that have a niche, they're really good at capitalizing off of that versus others. And then you have sabotage, manipulation that's going on behind the scenes. You guys have heard me talk about the YouTube algorithm. YouTube, particularly, for example, Facebook was notorious for this. That's why I've boycotted Facebook. I don't spend a lot of time on there. I have like a personal page, by the way. I had people found me. Facebook is so crazy. I remember they used to put on the news years ago. A lot of people were afraid of it because of so much drama that was happening. Now I've noticed it's a lot of more people on there now because they've weaponized it in a certain way, especially ideologically in a way, and politically as well, that certain individuals, they've made it a echo chamber for certain ideologies, feminist, BT, this thing where they say hate speech is really, that's really technically that speech they don't agree with. What they weaponize these social media platforms. So what I've done, and I forgot to mention what I did to YouTube, and this is funny, with my page before, my other second page was removed, which my smaller channel, it controlled my bigger channel, which I explained to you all already. And one of the things that I did to fight back, by the way,
at the same time, I've shared with you all other platforms to get on, like Rumble, Band.video, Brighteon, Mad Max World .tv, social media Getter, which is similar to Twitter, GETTR, Frank Speech. I am on Truth Social. I'm not on Frank Speech or Getter yet. Do plan hopefully down the road. I was on Parler, but they sabotaged Parler, by the way. And I was getting a lot of. I actually had over 100 going to about 200 followers. I had a nice following in Parler originally. The algorithm was real, and I see what they did. Came in quick, and I heard they upset a lot of people. Hopefully that doesn't happen to Rumble. Rumble has grown exponentially and is very, very good. Has very good, how can I say, bandwidth now. Because some of the video platforms, like when BitChute first came out, they have to have their own servers and stuff. It didn't really have good bandwidth or video quality. The video quality is better now, I would say, or just as well as, in my opinion, Rumble has really came up big time. So I highly, highly recommend Rumble. A lot of your favorite people who may have disappeared from YouTube, you can probably find them over on Rumble now, by the way. But you have to check if you're in the know other video web hosting platforms. And then you have social media platforms that are similar to Twitter, like I named Getter, Frank Speech, Truth Social. You also have Gab.ai. Big shout out to Andrew Torba, the work that he's done over there, what he's put together. He also has a Gab TV. Mike Adams, the Health Ranger, not only has Brighteon.com, but Brighteon TV as well. And a big shout out to Band.video, which Mad Max World incorporates a lot of other independent media organizations that are into free speech, that believe in the First Amendment of the Bill of Rights, the Second Amendment, and things, our Constitution. And that's good to see. There's an army of people out there to know we will not back down. We will not give up. You will not bully us. YouTube, the Apples of the world as well. By the way, Apple's in on this too. Amazon, you will not bully us. We will create a parallel economy. And one of the reasons I've mentioned I'm coming back to certain individuals, you will not shut our voices down. We have ways, we have other ways to get the information out there, and you're going to make things worse for yourselves. You shadow people, the really evil cabal that are doing what you're doing. And what I was going to say earlier, Senator Rand Paul had requested criminal referral for so-called Dr. Fauci. If you look at what you know what happened with that scandemic when they brought that, in. Look at all the people, all the athletes out there, for example. And you and I know, and I've been on platforms, I've been on Telegram, and I see people have the same common sense that I have. So I know I'm not crazy. There's a lot of other people that went way more in depth. And I've told you guys personal stories of people I've talked to that have had relatives that took that, and they had major complications. But the mainstream media swears up and down that it's a conspiracy theory. They have these terms, these trigger words they create, like they call anti-vaxxers, election deniers. Watch out for that. Do not trust the mainstream media. Okay. Now, some things I like what they report on. I will check out as funny things that do occur, real life stuff that happens, like that brawl that happened down in Alabama. I thought that was funny, or prior to that guy that gave out PS5s in New York, that other YouTube guy, Kai Sanat, something like that was his name. Funny guy. I was laughing at that when I saw that story air before the Alabama brawl thing, when that thing happened in New York. And I want to say, I feel personally, you hear me sniffing, I have allergies. I don't want to say I'm under the weather, but that's what that's from, by the way. But that's neither here nor there. But that when the media reports on things, just know when they use those terms, those trigger words, you know what time it is. Okay. But we see the evidence when you saw all those sports athletes, like that football player, just had a heart attack, fell out all of a sudden. And there's video footage, especially if you go to band.video, madmaxworld.tv, Check out the Stu Peters show on Rumble, which I'm a big fan of. I have to catch up. A lot of stuff, so much content out there, good quality content that's uncensored, not filtered, but real information that the criminal cabal doesn't want you to see. The criminal syndicate elites like Klaus Schwab and Yuval Noah Harari and William Gates, aka Bill Gates, who his father worked for Planned Parenthood. It's no rags to riches story. He was already wealthy through his father, had connections. If you know about Planned Parenthood, a lot of my own people know about Margaret Sanger and what they did with eugenics and injecting black men with syphilis. All that's not a coincidence, and why there's high abortion rates. But some of that's neither here nor there. But if you just look at the evidence, by the way, just look at all those athletes, including a famous basketball player's son who passed out. Because I have a friend that does rideshare. I won't go into the details about that. Tells me he talks to nurses and stuff. And I said I get intel from people too, because he knows I was running a YouTube channel, by the way, which was successful and growing, gaining momentum at one time until it was obviously you touch on certain things, they sabotage it. They never wanted to see me grow or rise, so I have to do things a different way. But I had people share intel. My friend, who's a rideshare driver, told me a nurse told him about these how some people, famous people, would get the other shot. They would get the one that had saline because they made certain ones of those more potent than the other that contain that bad stuff with the graphene oxide, the lithium oxide, where they're breathing that spike protein. It's not a coincidence. That was uncommon before this so-called scandemic occurred, where you didn't have a magnitude in many different cities. I've seen it locally on the news here in Detroit, as well as Chicago, Texas. Basketball players, sports athletes. Dr. Judy Mikovits broke down. She was heavily censored. I listened to the doctors who are whistleblowers, that are credible people that have been in the field. Listen to Dr. Rima Labo, Dr. McCullough. I listen to real people, real fighters, real warriors. I don't listen to simp doctors, chumps that go along and tell you to take something that was experimental, that was supposed to go through with their older standards, take a while before something like that would get pushed through. But you look at all the evidence I saw out there. It's out there. Go to band.video, madmaxworld.tv. And he has other independent media people he's partnered with. Even if you don't like him, his political views, I'll say get over it. Just be patient. Watch his videos. See, he shows the evidence. I've seen him show the news articles, the different reports. I've looked them up to see if it's credible. And I said, man, this is credible. I've been a listener of that show for a very long time. There's no need in even in saying the name of the guy. Some of you guys know I mentioned him in the past, but I've seen him and I've been a long time listener, and his supplements do work. Remember, BuzzFeed tried to discredit it, or some people tried to put lies out there. And I heard it was people would buy his products and then resell it on Amazon, but they would taint it on purpose and say, see, it came from there. This stuff is bad. It doesn't work. Yeah, we know those tricks because, those games. But I've gotten different supplements, many different supplements from them throughout the years. And they have worked, by the way. I take other stuff as well from other stores like Better Health, certain brands that I believe in that are good quality, I can tell, by the way. But his stuff has definitely worked, because I stopped drinking coffee significantly. I've very rarely, and if I do, it's like an organic kind my friend of mine has that he makes or whatever, but I rarely drink coffee anymore, and I want to stick with that because I'd rather take this other supplement that actually performs, because I've been working a night shift and it's done wonders for a number of years. I'll take a couple drops before I leave, and I hardly need to get a nap, and I'm up like late, like in the middle of the night, like I am now. And I have, till I get off at a certain time. Imagine, I've been doing this for a number of years. So you're hearing it straight from the horse's mouth. This is not hearsay. I'm not making this up because I'm giving the promo. I'm not getting paid by that guy. I've never met him. I appreciate him. Some things I don't agree with either. I would be honest with him about. I wouldn't be afraid to, have a powwow with him. Like some people think just because you support somebody that means that you co-sign their whole political ideology or their beliefs. That's not the case. When you're a free thinker, like Kanye talked about, you're an independent thinker. You have the ability to think for yourself. There's no monkey see, monkey do over here. I can follow my own cognizance, brilliance. I research things. So I'm just saying, from my experience, I've had nothing but positive experience from all of the products that I purchased from that site. Not one have I had a bad negative experience from. When you know about supplements and different things that can help the body and help fight inflammation and things of that sort. By the way, that's just from my experience. Just putting it out there because I heard some people been on the fence, this, that, and other. But I didn't mean to, make this video long, drawn out. But I wanted to give you guys a short update what's been happening and what I plan on doing. I'm still before you all. I did reach out to YouTube. They reached back. They're looking into the matter. So like I said, I don't know if I'm going to have that channel restored, but they were concerned what was going on with this channel because of that incident. And they were turning it over and they said their colleague or whatever, but they are definitely looking into the matter. So I'll let you guys know, I'll update. But in the meantime, I've already made my mind to basically focus or get ready to down the road. I'll let you guys know. I'll share it on my other platforms that with those other channels are. I'll post them mainly to my Dorsey's Resource Facebook page. And back to Facebook, when I was mentioning about what I did to boycott YouTube because of what, the egregious things that they did, at the same time, I disabled the what do you call it? Through the Google Chrome web browser, majority of the web browsers I use, Chrome is one of them. I disabled the ads. I found this out from a friend of mine. Told me a while ago that you can use something called ad blocker. So I don't have to deal with whenever I watch, I can watch YouTube ads free. Now on my phone, I probably may have to pay for it. They may have apps for the phone on my phone. I haven't looked into it yet for my cell phone. But as far as my desktop, where I watch the majority of my YouTube videos, a thing where I do my studying and research information and cross-referencing, I have my notes and stuff like that. It's primarily done on my PC, personal computer, my desktop. So what I did to fight back, I just disabled the ads, said I won't participate. Even though I was getting, my channel was growing before they did things to sabotage it. I was getting a brand deal, which I mentioned, from Bethesda Studios. If you know about Bethesda Studios and you're into gaming, by the way, which that's something I have do on the side. It's been a while, things of that sort. This big name. I also was contacted by Netflix a while ago, some other promotions and things. And I, really wasn't ready yet, but down the road, I will definitely look into those things. Appreciate it, those out there who did reach out to me with those deals, because they were looking at the traffic that I got. And I guess based on the numbers and stuff, they gave me some pretty good offers. And I could go further if I had some of the right people on my team. By the way, I'll have to develop a team because there's so much hate out there and sabotage. And that's one of the things I want to address in my videos down the road when it comes to the wealth transfer. What's going on, what's really happening. I want to touch on what they're trying to do with this thing where they're trying to call people money hungry. But remember, money is a tool. Like anything, it could be used for negative purposes or positive purposes. Currency. And unfortunately, when it was developed, the families that developed the central banks didn't have good intentions. They had really bad intentions, and it's been turned into something very negative. That's why the banking system is very corrupt. It's not an excuse for one of the reasons it's being changed. Some people said the old guard is just going to replace the new guard. I can't say how it's going to play out exactly, but a lot of people are concerned about that Fed now thing coming, and I do get why. But that's why I said go back and watch the movie Money Masters and Monopoly Man, especially Money Masters. It will give you a foundation and understanding, because when you get the foundations, the basics down, it's easy to understand, overstand, everything else that's happening and coming about, by the way. So before I go real quick, I see Tanya Reynolds says, peace and love, Dorsey. Appreciate you. Mary Saunders said, good morning. They said the dong has revalue. Is that true? I saw something. I don't know about that yet. Keep me posted. I'll let you guys know. I really stopped talking about foreign currency aspect of the wealth transfer that much. There's things that have changed. I will update down the road. Keisha Bree says, peace and blessings. Appreciate you, Keisha. It's been a while. Well, that's it. You all, appreciate you all rocking with me. I didn't really, like I said, want to this video to be long, drawn out, but I just wanted to let you all know I'm still here. Appreciate you all that continue to rock with the channel, that stay loyal, faithful. You guys have a blessed and wonderful morning, Saturday, and the marathon will continue. Legends never die. They live in our hearts. Peace. I'm out.